Can we get comfortable inside your living room?
Can we keep it simple?
Can we be leaders?
Can we reevaluate this?
Can we embrace real change?
Can we educate the mind?
Can we capture the moment?
Can we remove stereotypes? Can we really do this?
Can we talk?
Welcome back to Can We Talk? I'm Nafi Shakir.
And I'm Jarice Dean.
And today on Can We Talk, we're going to be talking about money management and how should it be implemented in schools. Also, we're going to be talking about gender roles. Do they still exist? Lastly, we're going to be talking about the Louisiana Pants Law. Is it still cool or no? But it was never cool.
But before we get into our episode today, we're back with one new panelist. We can have her start off and see who she is, where she's from.
My name is Debbie. I am a 2007 grad from Norristown, and currently I'm working in Harrisburg as a marketing coordinator for a mortgage company.
Wow. And Debbie is also, she's basically helping us with our strategy marketing, our marketing when it comes to our social network. So she's definitely being a big help on and behind the camera as well as in front. So as
Just out of curiosity, how do you get from Harrisburg to here all the time?
Well, I live in Harrisburg now, so I just commuted down for the show.
Oof, wow, that's dedication.
Marv, introduce yourself.
That's what I was about to say.
Well, I'm Jeff Craig. I go by Marv, Craig, whatever you want to call me. Just call me by whatever's on the screen. But no, I enjoy being on television. I love doing this. I love being on the show. So hopefully you guys enjoy some of the things I have to say.
Hi everybody, it's Courtney Dean again. I'm just happy to be back. Hope you're happy to see us. We're going to talk about some good things today, so let's get it started.
What's up, I'm Steve, and back again. You might see me in a different seat next week, but I'll be somewhere.
All right, now let's get into our rapid fire real quick. First topic is, I'm not sure if you guys heard of it, but mass faintings. And basically, it's not in the U.S. though. It says mass faintings highlight poor worker conditions at factories in Adidas and Puma. They're basically Cambodian garment factories that they've basically just been experiencing mass faintings due to spraying of pesticides and multiple things that really like they should be shut down for. That like I said, they just over 200 people just fainted within like 20 or 48 hours. Shut down. What do you guys feel about it? It should be shut down in its entirety, or things get re-looked? Like, how do you guys feel about that? Because that's something that I was like, okay, it's something interesting to bring up on the show that I'm pretty sure you guys didn't hear about.
So people working in a factory ended up fainting.
Yeah, like 200, all like almost at the same time.
Wow, and that's outside of the possible lack of money that they may be making as well. So I mean, I don't necessarily touch on that necessarily because I don't know all the details on that. But I mean, I can say if people are fainting like that, then that's clearly a problem, and it should be reevaluated and figure out what the problem is, and definitely take some major precautions to fix it.
Well, it says the health of Cambodian workers are generally poor because the current wages that they're making can't afford them good living.
You know, when it comes down to overseas work, when it comes down to business and corporations, you know, it's all about cheaper labor. Mm-hmm. Cheaper labor when it comes down to factory, the sweatshops everybody kind of jokes about, especially in Cambodia and the other, not saying they're all third world countries, but they're all kind of impoverished. That's why they're working for such cheap, and plus they're working for overtime, and you know that's not even real life overtime to support their families, you know, and over there, you know, they get started with families young. So the fact that they all passed out probably was due to bad work conditions They're probably not malnourished because I'm in there properly eating breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Yeah.
You know, their sleep, you know, they're not sleeping right. I'm not surprised, and it's sad to see that Adidas and these big companies aren't doing more to help the people who are making them money.
Well,
But that's
it's a money situation. Just like it costs maybe $2 to make a pair of those sneakers, and they charge anywhere between $85 to $200 to sell them. So they're making a huge profit. So anywhere they can cut a decrease in that profit, they're going to do it. So I definitely agree that this place should be shut down, but 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen. And if it does get shut down, another one is going to be reopened with maybe even harsher, more critical, you know, arrangements. Like they don't have laws like we have here with what is it called? The stuff
They don't
that
have
they used
labor
to.
laws. They don't have.
They don't have them,
labor
so
laws. They don't have
it's,
OSHA.
they don't have
these
anything.
things.
So it's not like someone's going to try to create a union and make an uprising because they're going to lose their job, and out of fear of losing their job and not being able to support their families, they're just going to deal with whatever situation that they're in, and nothing is going to change until somebody takes some kind of action to do it, and no one there is going to do it. It's going to have to take somebody on the outside to go over and kind of
That's what we need to
reconform
focus
everything.
on. We need to focus in on that instead of like trying to go over and start wars and all that stuff. Let's focus on, you know, really taking care of the people. And I mean, you could say, oh, that's not our community, but we all live on the same earth. So I mean, why not care about that type of stuff?
Regardless
Especially
of
when we're
regardless of
getting
it being our community,
Right.
we reap the benefits of it.
Exactly.
Like
So
there
I
are
still want-
probably
My spring
12,
collection- my spring
12
collection's
14-year-old
coming tomorrow.
like there's probably 12-year-old, 14-year-old children that are making your sneakers, but you spent $200 on them and they probably made $1.50 off.
The
of
only
it.
thing I can say to that, though, is that, see, I feel like there's a fine line because while we say, oh, these working conditions are terrible, this place needs to be shut down because they're not conducive for quality work or working in a good environment, what about the people that say, you know what I can do with these working conditions, I have to support my family? You shut them down, now where do they work? How do they make money?
But those are the
We
people
should
that
shut
are
them
famous.
down. We
Yeah,
should make
but
them
it
better.
doesn't make any sense to work until I die, then I'm still not going to support my family. So if I keep breathing in these fumes, I'm going to die eventually.
But
So
that's
it doesn't
good.
matter if the place gets shut down or I die, I'm still not going to be there to support my family. So which would you rather happen?
Well,
Me be
that's
able
the
to live
situation.
and try to find something else?
If it's
Or
after
me
fumes,
die and then that's it?
Then that's one thing. But if it's just because maybe it's hot, maybe they're not eating properly or something, I mean, wow, that's an unfortunate situation. Sometimes this is the only option that people have, and if you shut that
Generational
down, then it's kind of like,
Well, then it
Those are
takes more
fixable
research to
problems.
find out what it really is. If it
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
takes the fact that these people are not eating and drinking properly, then let's get some food bank situation going on. Drop some,
There's
meals
enough
down on
abundance
them or
worldwide
something.
where that shouldn't be happening right now. It's 2014.
All right, wait, now we have to get into the next topic because we went in line a little bit. Now, how about this one, guys? Dad finds out son isn't his after 21 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
wouldn't be the first time that happened.
Now, according to the West Australian, a DNA test has left British man Andy Phillips without a son, and the realization that his wife lied to him for 22 years. Now, even I'll say this: basically, he was paying child support, basically, as if all the duties and all the roles of a good father, and come and finds out it's not his, or the child isn't his, and didn't find out through the mother, found out through the son. Now, like I said, of course, it's an interesting story, but my question to you guys is, should a parent in that case be able to take the mother to court and get, hey, I need my money back for all those years of child support?
Can we talk
It
about
really
that?
depends on the situation of how child support was being paid. I'm not sure where was this located?
This is in
London.
Yeah,
In London. I'm not sure how it works in the UK, but I know here in America, if you and the mother are separated and you are paying child support while that mother is on welfare, you have to pay some money back to the welfare organization plus money to the child. So whatever they take from you, say it be $100 a month, 50 of that goes to the welfare, and then paying back welfare, and then 50 of that goes to the mother. So in that case, they could possibly sue and get money back from welfare, and then try to get money back from the mother, but that's a whole different story now. If it was just a situation where they were living together and he was caring for the child as is, then he could probably take the mother to court and try to, get some reparations for the money that he put out. But I have a personal connection to this story because I didn't find out my stepdad was my stepdad until I was like 12. So it's just like, in that situation, what kind of connection have you had with the child, and how do you feel at this point? Because if you're angry enough to kind of post a vendetta against the child, then that's a personal decision on you.
Definitely.
But at that time, it's just like, I've raised this boy as my own. I understand that he is not mine. I'm angry, yes, but how does that affect my relationship with him?
Debbie, what you
Yeah,
think?
I agree with that. I think if he raised him for 21 years, that's his son. So if he was supporting him, then I think that money went to him as support.
How do
I
you
don't
feel
think
about he lied? The wife lied.
Well, I think she just has to live with that she lied, but he raised him for 21 years, so that's his son.
Yeah.
But
I
see-
can see if it was a separate situation, like if they weren't together and he was just paying child support
Yeah.
to like his baby mom.
The-
That's
The
what it was.
realization that
They
his
weren't
son-
together.
It says
The realization that his wife lied to him.
It
No,
says,
they were married.
No, it says forced to pay child support after they separated when Jordan was 7 years
Yeah,
old.
see, that's a totally
Did he
different
have
story.
Did he have no connection with the son or the boy?
No, he did.
Well, if he still had a relationship with him, I think he still helped raise him. But if he didn't see him at all, I could see that being different.
If this was,
You deserve to know
if this
the
was
truth.
if they found out, oh, guess what, that's not your son, then that's kind of like, that's one thing if it was a mistake. But if this was a game that was being played and they knew the entire time, well, no, he deserves something back. Because yes, while he may have helped raise that child, that doesn't necessarily mean his living situation or his life would have been different if he had known the truth to begin with.
So I think
he did the right thing and
I
stepped
think
up
we need
because.
to. It would have to be finding out the mother's motive. Like, did
Yeah.
she actually not know and was just
Oh, no,
under
no,
the
no, it's
impression?
in there. She knew.
Something.
She knew.
She kept it
She
from
knew
him.
Oh,
And
well,
that's my
then.
thing, because honestly, I know we have to wrap up. But
Yeah.
if
She
if
knew
she was
the
on
wrap
another foot, this would have been huge news. As far if the father would have. Well, I mean, of course, the mom can't know, not know that they're his child, but you get what I mean, though.
Random daddy.
Yeah. but I mean, seriously though, just like it goes back to the whole case with the Philadelphia student that we talked about in the first episode with the stop and frisk. Now, if that was a man frisking a woman, the issue would have been way bigger. I believe. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just think it would be way bigger. That's why I said I thought it was definitely interesting and worth bringing up here.
That's a long time.
Yeah, the very last topic, before we end off, we'll just make this quick. David Letterman retiring. Any feelings about David Letterman? Have you guys ever watched him? I haven't watched him in a long time, I'll be honest, but I used to, watch him, and it's just like ever since I was a baby, David Letterman has always been on TV.
I think maybe he's realizing that there's a younger regime of late night comedians and talk show hosts coming in, like with Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon and
Everybody named Jimmy. Jimmy John.
he's realizing that maybe it may be time to kind of like cut off the microphone.
baton.
Yeah.
Well, even Oprah had to retire. It's like one career
Nothing
to
is
another.
forever.
Yeah, nothing lasts forever. I think when it's your time, you're done, then you just end it. I don't think you should keep going just because people are following you.
Yeah.
I mean, was it an age thing and he realized he was getting older? I mean, if the ratings are still high, why not keep going?
Because he may just be done with
Leave
the
on
show.
top. Just leave
Who
on
would,
top.
who would,
Yeah.
why would you continue something until they tell you, okay, we're canceling this? You might as well just go out while you're still on top.
Kinda like Jerome Bettis.
The legend and the memory of you can still be high rather than getting to the point where it's just like they had to put David Letterman off the television. It was just so
Compared to
bad.
him going off on his island.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out David Letterman for
Make
was he in the
that
game
money.
for like
For a
30,
while.
40, 50 years?
Long
I
time.
believe I
Even
remember,
on
I think his
TV,
name
as
was
long as
Johnny
I've been
Carson.
alive.
You guys remember him?
Yeah.
Johnny Carson. I remember when
Johnny
he
Carson? Oh, yeah, that was,
Yeah.
that
he
was
stepped down. So
That was definitely.
Because Jay Leno took over for Johnny Carson, didn't
yeah,
he?
I think so.
All
I
right,
think
so
so.
that was a rapid fire. So what we're gonna do is let's get into the first topic. I really like this one. So we all talked about on our conference call. We talked about money management, and we definitely got into it a little bit last episode in regards to money management being in the education curriculum. And when we discussed amongst ourselves, we all came to the conclusion that we all feel as though it should. But what we wanted to do for the show is everybody came up with a way that they feel as though would be the best way to implement money management into the education curriculum. So let's start it off. Marv. What you say?
Clearly, I mean, I think that it should be implemented in the classroom, definitely. Hands-on experiences, even if there's some kind of way, I know they're able to produce textbooks, why not get some fake checkbooks or something and just have the students just actually go through things, and I'm sure they can create some kind of computer system that will allow them to, I don't know, establish credit in the classroom or something, just everything really hands-on, and I think that'll probably be the best way to learn those kind of skills.
I agree.
Okay, well, I got a slightly different take on it. I agree with that premise, but I think people, I think they're not responsible with money because they really don't know what it is. And that starts with, like, I like to, I'm working on a book and I'm getting into, like, etymology and word science and history of language and stuff. So when you break down the Middle English for money, it actually was called, like, moni, which is, like, mono and eye, and that's your frontal lobe. And that's responsible for, like, a lot, like, learning, personality, behavior. And you think about what money does to people or not having it. So you really need to understand what it is. And so, you're making the money. You're not letting the money make you. You know what I mean? Because me personally, I don't believe money changes people. It kind of reveals character. Like, if you have more money, you become more of what you already are. So you really need to understand truly what it is, so it doesn't, like, you're not overcome by it.
And it doesn't destroy you.
I totally agree with you, Steve. I do agree with Jeff with the hands-on experience, but I think there may be a disconnect with the students once they realize that this is not real. Real money. Like, this is not real. This is not going to affect me at the end of the day. Like, I may get a different grade than I thought I was going to get at the end of this class, but how is this going to affect me? So I think maybe if it's possible to implement a real life situation, like, whoever at the end of the class has the best credit score, who, managed their money properly, actually gets a financial prize for doing it properly. Because, once you put, I know even when I was in school, if the teacher pulled out a Snickers and put it on the desk and it was like, whoever finished their worksheet first, it was like, you made sure you got all your answers right. If you had to look on somebody else's paper real quick, like, you did whatever it was to get that Snickers. So if you're giving me Monopoly money and you're telling me at the end of this I can get real money, then I'm going to really put some thought into it. Unfortunately, with the education system, there are going to be students that are just like, whatever.
You're right, because I know it's going to sound crazy. I always hated Monopoly because it was fake money.
What?
Monopoly.
Well, I mean, with all due respect, I slightly disagree, Courtney, just in the sense that, I mean, say you have a student with the kind of mindset, which I'm sure a lot of students do, I'm not even going to play this. I'm not going to win anyway. So now it's like you set it up where if you don't reach that ultimate goal, if you don't reach that ultimate prize, then you've now failed, and there's really no sense of even participating because you're not going to get the gold anyway. Well, so I mean,
check this out.
I think that depends on the teacher, because there are a lot of situations where you feel like you're not going to succeed, but if you have the right people teaching you and motivating you in the right way, they can help you get to that point where it's just like, okay, I can do this. I didn't think that I was going to pass AP physics, but I did. Like, I just was like, this stuff is stupid. I don't care about velocities and all that other crap. Like, I don't get it. But I wound up passing that class with a B. Yeah. So it's just like when you have the right people in your life and you have the right kind of person instructing this course, it takes it to another level other than, well, I'm not going to win anyway.
Well, what drove you to want to?
Hold on, one thing.
Go ahead, Dan.
One thing that we have
You
to
want to say
I
that?
say we have to get all four perspectives.
Yeah,
out
like she's
first.
jumping.
Debbie.
I don't want to cut in. I think it should be a hands-on experience. I think, like, say at a high school level, I think the students should be able to pick a career. And then, if they want that big house, then they have to realize, like, your mortgage is going to, this is how much your mortgage is going to be. So they'll get paid bi-weekly or weekly, however their position may kind of work that out. And then they have their expenses. If they want to, buy their new clothes, and they spend that. But I think teachers should also, like, throw out things like, hey, like Monday morning, be like, your car needs all new tires. Do you have that saved? Because I know now, I even have a hard time budgeting. Like, do I have enough, if I get a flat tire on the way home, can I pay for that?
And you got a long way home too.
Yeah, I have an hour and a half. But I think it should be hands-on. Even at elementary school, you can do like the whole star system. You have to save 5 stars to get a candy bar.
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna, or are you gonna just use them all the time?
How you
And
gonna
it could-
earn it? It's like money. You have to earn it.
Yeah, and it can build up.
Like if we're going to talk about how we're going to, the question is how we're going to get it inside of the education program. Definitely the STAR system, and definitely what Courtney said about the, like we had a fake stock market, kind of, But when it comes down to money, I feel the money should be a course because the motive can't be all about money. The question is how we're going to get that in there because it has to be. It's hard work. You have to know about the laws of money. It's more than just earning money. It's about kind of how people are passing knowledge when it comes down to real money, like real life, out the hood money. How ancestors that we know have passed their knowledge down from generation to generation. But schools, I think that would be fantastic. I think the STAR system would be fantastic.
And
I think that would be great.
I think it's deeper too.
A lot
I
deeper.
think that's like where we're trying to go. I mean,
money can't be the
money
motive.
management is great and all, but I think the biggest thing is taking money away and just management. Because like when you take management, that's something that you can apply to your life.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Like those are principles that you can apply to your life, and you can do the same thing with. If you are taking money management, I'm positive you can manage something else other than money with the same principles that you learned how to take care of money with.
Schools should teach students how to
grow
value the money
internally.
too. So.
Definitely, and we have to wrap it up. So, we went through our different philosophies, and really, I say that we can all learn from each other. I mean, I know we're only 25 years old, 26 years old, but I think some great ideas just got shared. So definitely we'll take a break. We'll go to our 15 in the line, which is Mr. Jimmy Karen. He is actually the CEO of his clothing line, Disabled Clothing. So my man Steve got a chance to interview him. You guys are about to see how funny he is.
Man,
He's got personality. He's the man.
He definitely does.
Go. Make sure you support Jimmy, and make sure you go support Can We Talk too. Go Jimmy. Go Can We Talk.
So take a look at Jimmy, and we'll be right back.